The initial signs of root rot can be quite subtle, and you'll only know the true effect of what's happening by looking inside that pot. Orchid roots are relatively susceptible to those fungal diseases and such that are going to cause root rot, and generally it's as a result of poor maintenance. Things like overwatering or incorrect watering, lack of air movement, and of course lack of aeration at the roots. So let's have a look into root rot, how we can treat it, how we can spot it, and of course how we can get those orchids back into full health. Welcome to the Nature Company. If this is the kind of information you are interested in, please hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell to be notified of all our upcoming content so you don't miss out on a thing. Oh, why don't the English? Oh, why don't the English? Oh, why don't the English teach their children how to speak? So after take 345, we're now getting back to it. You'll notice now these are already nice and clean and done. That's because I messed up the intro so many times. And we only noticed with the dog barking that it was all a big boo. So let's get straight back to the beginning again and have a look, see what root rot is all about. Anytime when you're examining your orchids and you notice the stems, the leaves, or even the aerial roots starting to go a bit limp or maybe perhaps yellowing slightly, the first thing I always suggest to do is to look what's happening inside the pot. If you notice any of those roots going black or brown, becoming soggy, mushy, or just flattened off without any turgidity, it's root rot. It's time to remove it out, clear off all those dead roots before we cause any further damage by souring the media further. As those roots rot and decay, it will cause the media to become more acidic, which will then decompose the media faster, and the more acidic media is going to help those pathogenic fungi and bacteria grow faster, and then we're really going to have problems with our plants. The majority of the time, root rot can be easily treated and your orchid will survive quite well. If left untreated though, that's when you start having the problems, and it might not be the root rot that's going to kill your plant, but those other pathogenic bacteria and fungi that will then take over. Always be as quick to the draw as possible to ensure you can clean off those roots. A healthy root should be this bright white or silvery green with a darker tip or a green tip. That's what we're looking for a healthy root. That's not meaning all healthy roots are this color. If it's deep inside the pot, it can be a yellowishy color and you might think, oh, it's a sick root. No, not necessarily. It's just it's very light deprived. So inside there, it's just gone yellow, but it's still a viable root. So just feel it to make sure that it's still firm. If it's firm with just a little bit of give, you know it's still okay. As soon as it's mushy or sticky or slimy, then you know it's probably done for. So these are the signs that you're going to be looking out for in the roots itself. If you haven't had a chance to check your plant yet and suddenly the buds start falling off or the leaves are all going limp and wrinkled, your pseudobulbs are wrinkling up and it's not from lack of water, then you know you need to have a look at those roots and check for that root rot. Root rot can be caused by several different factors, including fungal and bacterial infections, but you all land up with the same result. But you don't have to worry terribly much. Most orchids can still be saved. Especially if you're catching it at early phases, it's quite easily rectifiable. If you haven't noticed the root rot early enough, the root rot can cause those flower buds to fall off your plant before they actually bloom. It will also slow down the plant's growth or stop the growth almost altogether. And you may get retarded growth or your growths keep getting smaller. You'll also notice even though your plant is kept moist, you're still getting withering of the pseudobulbs and the leaves. You may even get these dark markings on the leaf as late signs that there is root rot in your plant. So now to fix your orchid up after you've realized it's very possibly root rot and we want to get in and have a look. For one, often it's easy, especially if the surface roots are looking like this. We can see that they're all brown and mushy and it's not looking very well. We can see there's very little air movement that's happening in here because the media has decomposed mostly and blocked up all the air gaps. To rectify a plant like this that we suspect of having root rot, the best method is to take it to the tap first, put it under running water for about a minute to ensure that it's been made completely wet, and allow that water then to drain out. Leave it for about 24 hours so that all those roots that are still viable can become turgid, and it will be easier to be able to tell the difference between the viable roots and those rotten ones, because we have to get rid of all of those rotten roots. If we have ones that have been removed from the media already, all we're going to be doing is sitting them into small basins of water so that just the roots are sunk into the water, so that they then too can become fully turgid and absorb all the water, so that we can be able to tell which ones are no longer working. Here we can see these ones have stayed flat. The color hasn't changed back to a greenish or whitish color. It stayed brown, it stayed flattened, there's no turgidity at all. Some of them are mushy, and these are all the ones that need to be removed. These ones we'll get a sharp pair of cutters that we'll then get in and cut right at the rhizome to remove the complete root. If we're going through the rest of our roots and we're seeing roots that still have viable parts, but the tips of them or the ends of them are rotten, then what we can do is just keep removing that bottom end of the root until we reach viable tissue again. Here, as we're cutting, we're going to be ensuring we spray our sharp cutting tool after every cut. It seems excessive, but believe me, we don't want to be spreading the fungus that might be in some of these roots onto the fresh ones. So this is isopropyl alcohol, just to ensure that everything's kept sterile. Also, by wetting the roots like this, we have allowed them to become more flexible. We've also helped reduce their adhesion to the pot itself, so it's going to make it easier to remove. So all we do is we squeeze around the pot using our hand to stabilize, turning the pot upside down and pulling out the plant. And what we'll do then is just pry away all the old media. And then if you have an area like this with old pseudobulbs that you are looking in a really poor state, we can just pull that off and throw that away. Here we have a whole lot of dead rotten roots at the base and some live viable roots at the front end. And we want to remove all of these roots. But before we do this, we're going to give this a good rinsing off to try and wash away any unwanted material off our plant. And we'll do this under fresh running water. Of course, rather do this outside so you don't get into trouble. We're just ensuring all of the old media has been washed away, especially off those viable roots. We don't want to have any of that taken across into our new media. And then we'll leave these roots to dry before we actually start working with them. That water is going to make any fungus or bacteria in here spread more easily. So let's just dry that out before we get to work on it again. So here we can just remove all the roots all the way down to the rhizome. There we go, where the root has been damaged, being attached to a piece of the material. We'll just cut it off at the tear, and then any areas where we've cut back into the tissue itself, what we're going to do is take our trusty cinnamon powder and just dab it onto the ends. You can then treat with a fungicide if you want to, but often I just use this cinnamon powder so that I can just seal off those wounds and prevent any fungus from getting in through the wounds. Because I don't necessarily want to kill any of that mycorrhizal fungi that might be with these roots already, that's going to help with the recovery of the orchid. So we'll just dab those points that have been damaged or cut into the tissue. We're not going to be dabbing the roots with it because, of course, cinnamon powder will draw water out of the roots. We'll just dab it onto those sections where there's open wounds. So there again, with any of that old material, it will just come off easily generally, especially if there has been any root rot happening. Here with these roots, we can see this is still fairly green, and then there's a blackened bit, and then suddenly the root is all mushy. So what we can cut it off is just there as that black bit starts, and we can leave the rest of the root because this is still viable root and it will still help the plant recover. So that's the reason again that we've let it soak in water, so we can feel which roots are still turgid and where the mushiness or the turgidity ends. So we can cut it back to live, viable root tissue. Some people insist on removing the entire root. But if it's still viable like this, I allow it to keep growing, as the root can still branch out and help feed the plant, especially while it's in this recovery phase. And another excellent thing that you can do with your orchid at this point is take your trusty garlic water and give it a good spray. For one, you're going to be helping it with the recovery, and two, you'll help destroy any of those nasties that want to tag along into a new repotting. And then when it comes to repotting these, make sure we're not putting it into the same media or the same pot unless you have sanitized your pot. You'll need to wash and sanitize your pot before you can use that pot again. Otherwise, just repotting this into a fresh new media with lots of good aeration, lots of air movement, adjusting your care program to suit the orchid. Look deeper into your orchid, see what its preferred natural native habitat is, and try and closely as possible emulate that with the media you use, the temperatures, the humidity, and the amount of water that you give to your plant. Always remember, orchid roots like air. Those epiphytic orchids are used to growing out in the air on trees, and as soon as you stuff them into a pot, they are going to struggle. So that's why we have to make sure that we have as much air available in that pot as possible so that they can keep growing healthily. Also, if your orchid has these aerial roots, don't just go shoving them straight into a pot, even if you've cut off all the other roots. These haven't adapted to being in a damp media like that. They've been out in the air, and that's where they're absorbing their nutrients from. So allow them to continue doing that, putting your plant into a pot and allowing the new roots to settle in. And one of the reasons we want to get this root rot cleared up and sorted out as quickly as possible is to ensure that we don't get any other further pathogenic bacteria or fungi growing in on this dead dying matter, because it's a magnet for them and it will really make them explode, and your plant will explode too. So try get your root rot sorted out as quickly as possible. A lot of those initial signs that you see on your orchid can be from other causes, but always check your roots first. This is where 90% of these problems are going to be coming from initially anyway. And if we can get that sorted out, the rest should be easy enough, and it will allow us to see that our culture methods need to be adapted to suit the orchid more, so that the orchid can grow healthily. And once these have now been potted up, the best thing to do is give them time to recover. Often withholding watering and feeding is the best idea. If your plant is very water stressed, then misting them with some of that garlic tonic once a week is often enough to keep it alive while allowing it enough strength to produce the new growth that's going to produce the new roots and allow it to thrive again. Give your orchid time, allow it to rest and recuperate. So remember, root rot is generally a function of bad orchid care, or incorrect orchid care, should I say. Make sure that your orchid has good drainage. It doesn't want to be sitting in water all the time. Ensure that there's enough air movement in and around the orchid, and always ensure that air can get to those roots, especially for these epiphytic types. It is essential to have air around their roots. A clogged media is going to hold too much water and it's going to stop the air movement in, and you'll get your root rot. Also, when planting, don't go planting it too deep. We don't want to cover up the spot where buds are going to be coming out of the rhizome. We want the rhizome above the media so it can be well aerated. So remember, on your part, quick action with sharp sanitized equipment and a few organic essentials. And we can have your orchid looking healthy in no time again, with those nice white, silvery, shiny roots with the green tips. And healthy roots means healthy plants, means lots of flowers. If you need any further help or advice specifically tailored to you, please hit us up on that Buy Me a Coffee link. And thank you for watching. If you found any of this information helpful, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below, and that notification bell, bing bong, to be notified of all our upcoming content so you don't miss out on a thing. Help us grow as we help your orchids grow.